Pictures or anything? Looking good, guys. Thanks for coming today. We are here at the Japanese Friendship Garden in downtown San Diego. One of our favorite places to be. So thank you guys for joining me. And we are going to have a super fun class today. So, guys, the structure of the class is it's like a martial arts class where everyone comes to martial arts class just to spar at the end, really. But we're going to go over some sort of new technique. We're going to warm up, go over a technique, and then we will spar, but not with each other. Internally, we will spar and have a wonderful breathwork session, probably about 9:30 or about halfway through this. So stay tuned or fast forward to that. But the new technique or the focus today is going to be on chest breathing because it's so not talked about in the breathwork world. I guess it makes sense because we're all chest breathing a little too much. The doctor puts the stethoscope on you and tells you to take a deep breath, but he puts it up here and you go, and then too, when we're growing up, we're told to tuck our bellies in and have good posture and that sort of stuff. So as long as you can get some sort of belly engagement, man, you can get it working super easy. And then just knowing the benefit of having this stuff everywhere, getting the airflow moving everywhere, is super powerful. And the neat thing about chest breathing, or really being able to fill your chest, is it's easier to create a denser air pressure. So that's really interesting because when you create a denser air pressure, you can get more oxygen. So when you go to high altitudes, this was back in 2014, Wim proved that his method was better than any high altitude drug. And I've hiked a few times, climbed Mount San Jacinto, even with my kids when they were 13. Each one we had to do something difficult was our strategy. And climbing Mount San Jacinto in Palm Springs seemed like a good strategy. And even them had some AMS, some symptoms of acute mountain sickness, and we stopped, we did breath work, and really it's about that full breath in, and then you kind of clamp down on that full breath, and now you've created a denser air pressure. It's so simple. And some of the, when people say that that you can't hyperoxygenate, that's a popular thing to say in the breathwork community, that if you hyperventilate, that your CO2 goes so low that now oxygen is more tightly bound to your hemoglobin and doesn't get into your tissues quite as easy. But that's true, but then we're also holding our breath, and then we're also doing that full breath hold. So it's often overlooked, the fact that people say the Wim Hof method might be bad for you because of the hyperventilation, but that's just, that is one piece of this giant puzzle. And so once you create a denser air pressure, a molecular biologist would tell you that you're pushing oxygen into the tissues at a better rate, a better capacity, or whatever you have. And the proof is a hyperbaric chamber. So we know hyperbaric chambers work, where you're essentially getting put into a dense air pressure with a lot of oxygen, and then and that is incredible for healing. People spend small bouts of weeks in a week in a hyperbaric chamber, and then they heal faster. So man, getting oxygen in your tissues, in your cells, I mean, oxygen is the lack of oxygen would essentially cause disease. So the presence of oxygen is the lack of disease, which is super cool. So let's talk about that, but why don't we warm up? We're here, it's a little bit cool outside. The sun's gonna come out strong here shortly. But let's do a little back adjustment. Lay back on your back, knees up at 90 degrees. And this is neat too, a little jujitsu. If you just flex your knees up at 90 degrees, you might hear a little pop or crack, and I'm telling you that can be an alignment. So let's slowly go to the right side first. Start to straighten your legs, exhale, relax, and now you're looking for a little back adjustment. Then back to the center, and we're gonna slowly go to the left side. Exhale, relax, straighten your legs. Oh man, you might even stretch. So good to be here in the gardens. All right, back to the center. That little flex till your knees tremble, and slowly straighten them. And then flex again when they're straight, and slowly bring them back in. Flexing one more time with your knees as close to your chest as possible. Then you can sit up. Now you wake up your toes, wake up your ankles, get the juices flowing. So, one of the other amazing things about breathing in your chest and that pressure, that inner thoracic pressure, you would think, or at least I did when I first started this stuff, is that that's collapsing the heart, that would be because you feel the pressure, but it's not. It's actually doing the opposite. So medically it's called the Valsalva maneuver, which is just pushing out against a closed airway. We've all done it on an airplane. You just hold down, clamp down, you pop your ears. But what that's also doing is pushing out away from the heart. So if you actually have a heart arrhythmia for a moment, your heart will get back on track because of that ability of your heart to be able to beat easier, and you get a slight blood pressure drop too. And so that's why you'll feel a little bit lightheaded when you do this stuff. It's from the blood pressure drop. And so coincidentally, that is one of the moments you could potentially pass out, and you can feel it. You can feel that like you're dancing on the edge of consciousness a little bit. So we can do that two ways. One way, in the Wim Hof method, what we were taught is to push to your head. Like a little kid getting mad, your face gets red. You're really just closing off the return valve, and then you're collecting blood and cerebrospinal fluid in your head, which is actually a good thing. So that is what happens in deep sleep. Your brain cells shrink a little bit, you get more cerebrospinal fluid upstairs, and one of my favorite people in the world called it brain shampoo. So we think of that potentially as the cellular garbage collecting system. And so you are just getting rid of waste, potentially, and getting some of the benefits of deep sleep when we do that full breath hold, and it feels good too. So the other way we can do it, instead of just squeezing down and pushing into your head, is using the pressure. So that's why when we do this stuff, when we empty completely and we hunch our shoulders over like that, I ask you to fill your belly first, then you fill the midsection, and then you feel the chest. And now you have so much pressure, if you were to release your spine a little bit and clamp down again, you are creating a lot of that pressure, and you are really elongating the time between the potential passing out moments. So you're controlling that consciousness shift much more precisely than you would be if you were just to squeeze to your head. Does that make sense? Kind of interesting too. And that is really, after you've done some breath work, that is really a magical place to be when you do that squeeze. And why I think it's so effective after breath work is that we're releasing the hormones that we want. We're releasing the adrenaline. The precursor to adrenaline is dopamine. We're getting these catecholamines, these neurotransmitters getting released. And then when you take over the circulatory system a little bit and then you do a little flex, not only is your heart beating easier, but you're also pushing blood to all of your extremities. So that's very useful when you're cold to get your fingertips back and to be able to control your circulation. But so now you've made this chemical shift, and now you're pushing it out to your body, which is really neat. And so I think that is also why when we do breath work before cold exposure, that you get a wonderful shift in the inflammation, the inflammatory markers in your blood, anti-inflammatory cytokines up, inflammatory cytokines down. And then if you add in cold exposure right after, well, all of a sudden you get a 40% increase in that inflammatory shift. And doing cold exposure on its own, you get no increase at all of the inflammatory shifts in your blood. So that's really neat. So Wim intuitively just had this all together and figured it out before we were able to prove it. But then it was just proven last year with a study when they tried to differentiate what fast breathing did, what the breath holds did, and then what cold exposure did. So that was the biggest discovery, was that, oh, cold exposure didn't do anything for those inflammatory markers in your blood. It makes you feel great. It makes you, it loosens you up. It improves your circulation. It does all these great things. Man, if you have any pain from anything, inflammatory disease, or from working out too hard or whatever it is, it'll get rid of pain. I mean, across the board for everybody, which is really neat. But it just didn't happen to do much for that inflammation. Probably in your joints, yes, but in your actual blood, no. So super cool that we know the order in which to put these things. So what else is great about it? When you squeeze like that, when you have a chest breath and you squeeze, there's two more things I want to mention. you are more in touch with the sympathetic system. So parasympathetic system, light breathing, loose, belly breathing, nose breathing, that's wonderful for the rest and digest. Heck, you can even turn on your digestion, which feels really cool to be in such control of that. But then the faster breathing, the chest breathing, the mouth breathing, those things together, well, now you're getting it more in touch with the sympathetic system. So we're intentionally getting the great stuff out of a fight or flight response, but we're doing it in a controlled way. So we might even have less cortisol when we get this dose of adrenaline. Usually comes with a big dose of cortisol. We might even be getting less of the cortisol because we're doing it in such a controlled way. And then let's nerd out for 1 second. Adrenaline comes from two places, near the basal ganglia and then also from your adrenals. And the adrenaline that gets released in your adrenals doesn't pass the brain-blood barrier. That's kind of interesting too. So unproven, but potentially, I think you can fill your body with the adrenaline from your adrenals and have less adrenaline and cortisol in your head. And that way you are in this ready state, but you're calm. And to me, that has to be flow state, because I felt it, because you guys have felt it, right? It's when you're exercising hard or whatever it is, when you get in flow state, you're like, man, time changes, right? It slows down. Why would it slow down? We talked about it because your brain waves have sped up. So if you have this frequency of brain waves that's just the highest frequency, now all of a sudden you can make decisions faster. You can see things clearer. I mean, not only that, you get a dose of adrenaline, gives you, dilates your pupils, makes your hearing change. It makes your skin feel different. So all these great things come from that. And that chest breathing or creating the pressure, more than just chest breathing, creating the pressure in your chest and holding on to that for a moment really seems to tap into that. So lastly, there is a course or a program called functional training, where these guys' whole goal is to get people out of pain. If they have chronic pain, to get rid of it. Usually back pain is the first thing that plagues people the most. And chest breathing, where you take these full breaths in. So I'd been doing this for years for fun, for myself, because I enjoyed the feeling, and I would add big chest breaths to a squat. And we're gonna do that today, and we're gonna add in a little bit extra. But I didn't really have back pain, where the majority or a lot of my jiu-jitsu friends did, just from the nature of the game. And I was telling them, like, I don't know, man, I'm doing this 1 minute squat a day, and it was hard for people to believe that it was effective, but I wasn't getting the same sort of ailments in jiu-jitsu that a lot of my friends were. And then so I stumbled across Jesse, who's one of the owners, founders of this functional training, and they would take these chest breaths and then intentionally exhale and push their belly button without their hands, but let their belly button go back to the spine. And so they were intentionally trying to elongate that area between your ribs and your hips. And so that was decompressing your spine. I'm like, oh, I've been doing this for a long time, but I just didn't know. So we'll even add in, they do this full connection. You're gonna love it. They do this full connection and you go kind of pigeon-toed. And so what the functional training figured out was that most of us are a lot weaker around our core and our hips, and can't unlock our hips as much as we should be able to. And that's oftentimes causing the pain, you know, just from all the stuff we got to do and sitting there like this and everything. So to activate that, it's like the exercises are so simple, but to activate that makes a huge difference. So let's do our tapping, and then we'll do a little bit of that activation here. So I'll just go up a little. So the tapping's my favorite. Guys, it's so simple. Get some skin if you can. Find some skin, because that works the best. We're just gonna start tapping. Good for the lymph system. You may have heard your lymph system is a series of one-way valves with no pump, but the pump is your breathing. So tap your chest, tap the back, your front, under your arms. Don't be light. You gotta kind of really get to business. And this is just a waking up of the lymph system. Don't forget your face. Some of us need a few more smacks in the face than others. And then a little swinging. So just swing side to side, look side to side. And then try and look behind you if you can. Let your arms tap. All right. And then just stand there for a moment and feel that vibration that you ignited. It feels good. Heck, we even have an electromagnetic field around our heart. We're very likely just expanding our electromagnetic field. Let's do this one too. I don't think you've done this one with me, Matt, but one of my favorite exercises ever, we call it the blind Miyagi's. Do you remember Karate Kid? Mr. Miyagi was on that thing. This is what he could have been doing. You get all your weight on your front foot, front leg slightly bent, and then you take your back leg off the ground. If you want to make it more difficult, you cross your hands and you close your eyes. And the goal is to flex those feet, the ankles. We'll do it for about 30 seconds on each side. Whoa, you're cheating, man. If you put a foot down, you're cheating. If you're looking at me, you're cheating. But this is an awesome exercise. As we grow older, our cone of balance decreases. So this will increase your cone of balance. We'll do it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pretty good, impressive. But were your eyes closed the whole time? Oh, eyes closed makes it harder. That's the worst. And front leg slightly bent, back leg 6 inches off the ground. Cross your hands if it's hard, and then close your eyes. And then you really have to focus, light up the ankles, the toes, the hips. I know, see, it's way harder, isn't it? 30 seconds on each side, and I would try and get to a minute on each side. The health marker is your inner ear health. And I think if you're 50, you should be able to do it for 10 seconds, 40, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. So now we're going to do this squat with the breath work. So normally I used to just start to squat down and I would take these big breaths. What I didn't realize I was doing was that with the big breaths, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a breath in, and then when we breathe out, you want to try and get your belly button to get closer to your spine. And so now, with each breath, we don't want to let our ribs come down. We want to try to expand them above our hips as much as possible and keep them up there. So we're going to decompress our spine a little bit. And then to add in the functional training, what they do, instead of being, we will be about shoulder width apart or a little bit wider, but you get your heels out. And this is going to be, it's going to feel weird at first, but you get your heels out. And so that really engages the hips, unlocks the hips, and it strengthens that area. And you put your hands together, fingertips, and you flex. And then you flex there too, in your knees and in your hips. And we slowly go down, and we're going to do 5 breaths on the way down. So big breath in. Get your ribs to raise up. Number 2. You can sit a little lower into your squat. Number 3, and you stick your butt out as far as you can. Number 4. Last one. Let me hold that for a moment, and then we can go back up. So hopefully you feel a little decompression there. So perfect. Do we want to do any more? Why not? Let's add it to a push-up. So I would do these for about 1 minute, but you could do a push-up on your elbows, on your hands, on your knees. Doesn't really matter. Just get to some position that feels comfortable. And then we're going to take big breaths, 5 big breaths as we slowly go down. So big breath in, start to go down. Big breath in, the touching our spine, big breath in. Last one. Let's just hold for a moment. Let the spine decompress. And we can go back up. That's it. Perfect. Now, let's practice a few of those breaths, those big breaths, and then do our breath hold. So what I'm going to suggest, and again, guys, it's so easy. It's that engagement is really what needs to happen before you make that neuromuscular connection that lasts. So we're gonna take a few breaths, and what I want you to do is start with your spine sort of hunched over, so that, and let's just actually do that. Let's activate our bellies a little bit. So just feel that tension, significant tension get created, and try not to raise your shoulders. If we want, let's even do a couple of crab claws on the side. And so we're gonna activate the sides while we're down here. And let your fingers expand. Last one. And then we'll do the back. So if you just, as you're hunched over, flex into your back a few times and feel that expansion that you can make just with simple flexing. And then we're gonna add the breath to it. So let's do 3 into the back. Number 2. Last one. And that should be difficult because we're not using that baby's breath, that 360-degree breath as much as we could. But a little activation, and now it's working. So now what we're gonna do is into the belly first, and then into the chest as we open up our shoulders and raise our chest back. So you hunch over first, we go into the belly, and then into the chest. And let go. 2 more, belly, chest, and let go. Last one, chest. Perfect. Now, I just read this awesome thing from a yogi that was going outside of his training, and he said, listen, when we breathe into our chest and then our belly, when we're in these postures, they said that we're not getting the same alignment we could that if we were breathing into our chest first and then our belly. We've never even done this. I've never shared this one before. This is new to me too, but this is really interesting to me. So it really accentuates the fact that our posture controls where this air is. And if we're all just sitting like a Buddha, yes, of course we can breathe into our chest, our belly, but if your chest is high and your posture is really good, your belly doesn't need to expand that much and you're still using it. So this is gonna be kind of wild. So take your thumbs, find your armpits, and you can connect your finger. And so first we're gonna breathe into our chest, and then we're gonna breathe into our belly, okay? So we want the fingers to separate and we breathe into our chest. So here we go, let's try. Let's do 5 of these. So into the chest first, and now in the belly. It's harder. Number 2. Man, that's super hard. I want to see almost what it looks like because my belly's not going to change that much. So here we go. In the chest first. Now into the belly. There's less there. 2 more. Into the chest, into the belly, and let go. Last one, chest, belly, then let go. So what we did just there, that's interesting, right? What we did just there is change the neutral zone. So the neutral zone is where you have neutral air pressure in and out. But if our posture is super nice, then we're moving more air above the neutral zone. So if we're just sitting here like this, we'd still have, let's find the neutral zone together. Take a big breath in all the way in and let go. Now, you should have neutral air pressure. So you still have all that left, right? Cool. So we have about 40% left if we're sitting up like this. But what we were just doing, filling the top first, it didn't feel like we had 40% left in the belly. It felt more like 30, maybe even 20. And so our posture changes our neutral zone. So that's why too, when we are doing the long breath holds at neutral, if I were to take a breath in, my last breath, and then I let go and lean over, and then I pause right here, and then I lean back up, well, I just changed the neutral zone. So now I'm gasping for air a little bit. So that's why it's important that if you change your posture when you're doing long breath holds, when you're doing those extended neutral zone breath holds, to just open up again, and let everything acclimate and get back to neutral, because we just changed our neutral zone. And that's also why when we lay down and do breath work, we've changed the neutral zone. So we have about only 30% left, if not even less than that, after we let go, a relaxed breath. So you're actually moving more air with less effort when you lay down. So something to take note. I think it's good to do breath work both sitting up and lying down, but just know that's the difference. And then of course you can hold your breath for longer too, because you're using less effort when you are lying down. Just something super simple. Cool. So what else? That's it. Those three things: decompressing your spine, engaging with that sympathetic system, and the denser air pressure for more oxygen are wildly important and overlooked things with the chest, primarily chest breathing. Do you guys have any questions before we get into? Good, you guys aren't wearing a watch. Good for you guys. You ever know? All right. Yeah, nice. Forget time. We're in a timeless place and state here in the Japanese Friendship Garden. So no questions? Nothing really? Okay, cool. Cool. Well, so what I'd love to do is get into a few rounds of breathing sitting up. I think sitting up's a great place to do it, but we will change our neutral zone for our breath hold. So instead of just holding my breath with nice posture like this, I'm gonna slouch a little bit and I'm gonna leave a decent amount above neutral in my belly, so that when I'm sitting up doing my breath hold, I'm using the air pressure, that interthoracic pressure, to keep myself upright with less effort. We use that all the time in jiu-jitsu because there's a lot of collapsing of bodies. And so to have pressure in there, you can still breathe and be comfortable. And to know how that works, it's very useful for exerting. So for exercise, for moving something. You know, if you're about to move a potted plant, something heavy, if you keep that pressure, that core pressure, and you keep breathing, man, your strength lasts so much longer. And then too, you're gonna get real in the weeds, if you take a few big breaths beforehand, your heart rate will be lower when you exert, if you have sort of hyper-oxygenated beforehand, which is neat. You can always test out with whatever exercise that you love, pull-ups, push-ups, or something like that. Just do a little hyperventilation beforehand, and I'm telling you, your heart rate's gonna be lower throughout the exercise, which is super neat. So, the rounds of breathing we'll do will be about 2 minutes. We will start nice and slow, and realize too that what we're trying to do is create a vascular constriction. So nose breathing gives you this wonderful boost in nitric oxide, and you should be breathing with your nose throughout your life all day long. You started mouth taping, right?
No, it's awesome.
It's awesome, right?
You were on to something.
Man, well, it's not me, but yeah.
Somebody's on to something.
Man.
I'll tell you what, my sleep has changed.
God, isn't it great?
When I wake up, my posture, usually my back's out of alignment.
Oh, really?
I'm not tossing and turning as much.
Wow.
Like, there's a whole bunch of benefits. Like, we can talk about this.
Yeah, so not tossing and turning as much, sleep is better. He's not snoring as much either, right?
Not at all.
Not at all. Well, how do you, I mean, you have to have a real, you have to have something's wrong if you're snoring with your nose breathing. It happens, for sure. People have like soft
A
palates.
little bit when I'm falling asleep.
Can you?
A little bit, but then if I'm conscious about it, get through a breathing exercise,
Yeah.
I can slow it down and change my breathing flow.
Nice.
And then it's gone.
Yeah, that's awesome. It was a total life changer for me too. So I'm with you on that. So again, what we're gonna do, the first 30 seconds of the 2 minutes, you just start slow, you get the airflow moving. I encourage you to use mouth breathing as much as you can. Nose breathing does diminish the results of the vascular constriction, which is fine. So you're gonna get to a place, I hope you get to a place at one point where you're like, this is too much. I hope you do get there, because that means you push yourself a little bit, and we can only we can only grow getting out of our comfort zone, right? So know that when you switch to nose breathing, you're gonna start to diminish the constriction and diminish the consciousness shift and everything, and which is fine. But know that's available to you. So first 30 seconds, we're just getting the airflow moving, we're making it feel how we want it to feel, and we realize what we're gonna have to do. Then the second 30 seconds, we're going to meet some resistance. We're gonna be breathing fast enough where our body is letting us know that it's potentially you even get emotional. You get emotional, you feel the angst. When you feel that angst, perfect, you're doing it right. You get the lightheadedness, it's right out of the gate. And then the third 30 seconds, we're gonna really go as quickly as we can go. But deeper, again, is better than faster because of that air pressure that we were talking about. You can create the denser air pressure. You're being more effective with denser air pressure. and then for 30 seconds, you're intentionally trying to get that dose of adrenaline. And you really know you got it when you get invisible goosebumps that happen right behind. There's two big nerves other than the vagus nerve that are right behind the back of your ears, and you feel it. You feel like your spidey senses tingling a little bit, and that's when you know you got some, you know. And you felt this before too. I'll tell you when. If you've ever thought that you were getting sick, nothing happened. You're just like, man, what was that? I feel like I'm getting like something coming on. You probably got a dose of adrenaline. Your body was probably starting to kick in to help you out. So we did notice that people would get symptoms before their adrenaline would raise up, but for sure that first dose is happening around the first symptoms. So I think that's that spider sense that you get when you feel like you're getting sick. You actually just got a dose of adrenaline for no reason. And so that's why it's a little like, what was that? Why did that happen? I didn't get that until it's a year and a half after I started this stuff. I didn't get sick, which was crazy because I got sick at least every quarter, 5 times a year, easy. Just congested enough, I still had to go to work. But I felt that one day and I was like, whoa, what was that? I just felt it. I felt something, I didn't know what it was. And I'm like, that's the sign. I felt like I was getting sick or something. And that, sure enough, that was what it was. But once you feel something like that, you're able to add yourself an extra dose over, I was gonna say OD on adrenaline. You don't need an OD, but just level up your body. Get your body in a higher functioning state, and that's when your immune system fights stuff off, and you don't even know that it's happening. And to me, that's the most valuable thing. That is a high functioning immune system is when it works and you don't worry about it and you don't think about it. And it's just, your body's just fighting stuff off. So that's the third 30 seconds. Then the last 30 seconds, we're gonna get our heart rate down. So quick, short in, out through the teeth. You adjust your body to where you have to move the least amount and you just sort of relax into it. And it's those long exhales and even a tiny pause at the top and the bottom where you sort of start to feel the catch up. You start to catch the momentum. I mean, we're all water, or 80% water, right? When you catch the fluid movement in your body and then you just feel you're breathing quite effortlessly, we get our heart rate down. And then we hold our breath for different extended periods of time. And then we take a full breath after we've been holding our breath and we hold on. We do that Valsalva maneuver. We hold on to the full breath for a moment. That was a lot to say. You guys good? Okay, cool. Good thing you're good students and listen closely and have done this before. Cool. All right, guys. Well, we all have different lung capacities. So we're going to start together and end together. But let's begin. Let's take a big breath in, all the way in, and let go. Number 2, let go. Number 3, let go. And now you're on your own. So you're trying to find a pace that feels good. You're trying to find the amount of spine curling and uncurling that feels comfortable to you. You're making it feel good. The lightheadedness could already have kicked in. But what's definitely going to happen throughout this is you're going to feel the nervous system tingling. You're going to feel the vibration and the electricity. So here we go. We're on to the second 30 seconds. We're going to pick it up just a little bit. Each breath can be a little faster than the last. The goal is to try to raise the intensity, but do it in a controlled way. So hopefully you feel a little resistance. Your body's telling you that's a lot. No problem. We're going to push past our comfort zone here. So here we go. For 25 seconds, let's get outside our comfort zone and get a little dose of these catecholamines. So you should feel the lightheadedness, even some euphoria. If you have to laugh or smile, it happens. Cry even, it's all in there. Emotions are just energy in motion. Last few quick ones. Perfect job, guys. Let's bring the pace down and get our heart rate down. Quick, short in, long breath out. Adjust your body so you can sit motionless when we hold our breath. Find your pace. Quick in, long out. Relax your neck and shoulders. Quick in, long out. And remember, we're holding our breath with a Buddha belly's worth of air, a half a breath left. Quick in, long out. And think about that place where you're gonna hold. Lots of interthoracic pressure in your belly. Loosen up, sync up with me in 2. 1. Last, big deep breath all the way in. Let it go slow. Find the Buddha belly, lock it in, and hold your breath. So one of my favorite things that happens on the first round is you start to get these twitches in the nervous system. So the electricity, this maybe even stagnant electricity is being lit up and pushed through. And you get these little twitches and tremors potentially, and then those start to subside later on. So you're almost to the end. If you have an urge to breathe, you just slowly count. Keep the urge to breathe light for longer. And in 3, 2, 1, you made it to the end. You can push the rest out. Fill your belly first. As you lean over, fill the middle, fill to the top. Pause with a full breath for just a moment. Feel that pressure. In 3, 2, 1, let go of the pressure. Let go of the breath. Good. Corey, feel good? Corey, you feeling okay? Okay, good, good. All right. So don't follow his pace. Matt's pace is out of control.
I'm just trying to follow everything.
Yeah,
Move
yeah.
further away.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But just know that you're good at this stuff. And there's a few of us. There's a few of us that come to class that are like, oh man, you can't follow their pace. They're gonna get to business. I mean, you're fine. Okay, here we go. On to the next round. We're gonna do 2 more. Let's start slow. 3 together. Big breath in all the way in, and let go. Number 2, let go. Number 3, let go. And now you take it. Take it wherever you want to go. But really let your spine curl and uncurl. Let your hips turn over as you take these breaths. Let yourself fill completely from the belly to the midsection, to the chest, and even beyond. We can open up these diaphragmatic structures in our head and move the lymph fluid, move the cerebral spinal fluid. Now, let's meet some resistance. Here we go. So we pick it up. Feel that tension in your neck and in your shoulders at the top. There should be some wonderful tension that again opens up these diaphragmatic structures that move the fluid. And allow yourself to feel a little bit of that discomfort. Remember to pause and swallow whenever you need to. Keep your throat comfortable. Never let your throat dry out. Now, let's get a dose of adrenaline. Here we go, 30 seconds. So hopefully you feel a little bit of the tingling going up the back of your neck, from your shoulders, a little bit of the motions, of the discomfort for sure. Last few quick ones. Perfect job, guys. Let's bring the pace down and get our heart rate down. Quick in, long out. Quick in, long out. Relax your neck and shoulders, relax your face, relax your spine. Quick in, long out. Take notice of your neutral zone, where you plan to hold. Quick in, long out. Loosen up, sync up with me in 2. 1. Last big deep breath all the way in. Let it go slow. Lock in that Buddha belly. Sit on top. And now just check in. We have opened up pathways to new data. You got new sensations moving around in your body. The harder you did the breath work, the more sensations you probably have. So just hold on, relax. You can start your count to any number, slowly counting, keeping the urge to breathe light to medium for longer. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You made it to the end. You can let the rest out as you lean over. Fill to the bottom first. Fill medium. Fill to the top. A couple extra sips. Lock in that pressure. Curve your spine a little bit. Sink the pressure in deeper around your heart. Let your heart beat easier as the interthoracic pressure pushes outward. And in 3, 2, 1, let go of the pressure. Let go of the breath. Good. So we're already getting there. You should feel the relaxation of your mind, the disassociation in a positive way from stress. Let's do one more round sitting up. Nice and slow. We'll start together with 3. Big breath in all the way in and let go. 2, let go, and 1, let go, and you're on your own. Make it work for you. First 30 seconds, we're just getting the motions down, getting the airflow moving, maybe swallowing every 15 seconds, keeping our throat comfortable, allowing it to feel good, filling from your belly to your chest to your head. Now, let's meet a little resistance. Here we go. Deeper's better than faster. Your shoulders rise and fall with the breath. As you let the breath out, you can collapse your stomach a little bit, and when you breathe in, your stomach expands, your chest expands, your shoulders go back. Now, it's time to get a little dose of adrenaline, the fight or flight response. Here we go. "15 seconds left of maybe the fastest you've gone so far. Last few quick ones. Perfect job, guys. Let's get our heart rate down. Quick short in. Long breath out. Start to relax your body. Quick in. Long out. Adjust so you can sit motionless. Quick in. Long out. Through the teeth. Pursed lips. Curled tongue. Quick in. Long out. And you don't even need to get all the way to neutral in your exhales. Just do a nice long one. Quick in. Long out. Loosen up. Sync up with me in 2. 1. Last big deep breath in. Let it go nice and slow. Find the Buddha belly, lock it in, and hold your breath. Each round, the data should be more significant. You feel the electricity, you feel the energy, the vibration. And it's more profound as we get more activity near the brainstem, less activity in the frontal cortex. And you just hold on to this amazing sensations. You're almost to the end. You could start your count, slowly counting to any number, keeping the urge to breathe light to medium for longer. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you made it to the end, you can let the rest out. Fill to the bottom first. Fill medium. Fill to the top with a few extra sips. Lock it in, sink the pressure towards your spine, opening up your heart. Feel that consciousness shift, that disassociation, the lightheadedness. And in 3, 2, 1, let go of the pressure, let go of the breath. So if you do these right, this is almost enough. This is a great space to be in for creative problem solving. You can sit in this meditation for the next 15 minutes. Or, now that we've cleaned out the cobwebs, so to speak, we can do a little bit of lying down breath work. So what we're going to do is a 10-minute continuous round. Each minute we're going to do something a little different, which is really going to make the process go by with a little less mundane. And then we're going to hold our breath again at the end. And then we'll even do a little optional few breaths after our long breath hold. So I'll let you guys hold as long as you want at the very end. So, but for now, when we do breath hold lying down, what I recommend, what I like, especially when you're relaxed, is I cross my legs and just put my hands somewhere on my chest and go nice and slow. And then as we start to speed up, you put your knees up, you use a little fulcrums in jiu-jitsu, and you bring your heels a little closer to your butt, and you either let your knees touch together or you just keep them nice and straight, but the heels close to the butt. And that way you'll notice you change the neutral zone again, your lower back flattens, and you can just move more air with less effort. Cool. So this is where the magic happens, guys. We're going to engage everything, and then we're going to have a few sprinting minutes where you can go as hard as you want. Matt, you're going to love this. The sprints are awesome. The sprint, too, by the way, when we go in, and it's all the way in and all the way out. You can really just, maximum amount of adrenaline for those quick seconds. Cool. So let's go, guys. Let's start nice and slow. And you can put a hand on your belly. And if you don't mind, I'll even put a hand on your belly to give you something to focus on. You're not doing it wrong, just something to focus on. Here we go. So let's begin. Put a hand on your belly, and we're going to breathe into the belly for 1 minute. So into the belly, letting go. I'll put a hand on your belly. Into your belly, letting go. Good. Perfect. You might notice that your shoulders are rising up a tiny, tiny bit. So into the belly. Yes, good. Better. Letting go. Into the belly. Letting go. Put a hand on your belly. Perfect. And I wouldn't push air out. I would just fill the belly and we let go to neutral. Better. Good. Cool, guys. Into the belly. Letting go. 15 more seconds here. Getting the airflow moving, really engaging the core significantly. Into the belly, letting go. Now, let's do belly pause and then into your chest. Into your belly, into your chest, and let go. Into your belly, into the chest, and let go. Getting that airflow moving into the belly, into the chest, and let go. With a little pause in between, belly, chest, and let go. A 2-stage breath, belly, chest, and let go. Remember, never forget to keep your throat comfortable. Pause and swallow whenever you need, and let go. Now, minute 3, just put it together. Fully in, letting go without pushing air out. You may want to slowly put your legs up now if you haven't. Fully in, letting go. But again, comfort is king, so whatever feels most comfortable to you. You might tuck, if your legs are up, you just tuck your heels a little closer to your butt, and it keeps them up with a little less effort. Fully in, letting go. Forget the mechanics. It's all working now. You got the airflow moving. You're swallowing every once in a while, keeping your throat comfortable. And we will start picking it up soon. But you're doing great. Now, for the next breath, we're gonna do, this is a fun one. We do a full breath in, let go with an audible sigh, and you actually push the air out. And notice if you lift your butt a tiny bit, when you push the air out, you give a little curvature to your spine and you really empty more completely. So here we go, fully in, let it go, and then push it out. As you lift your hips a little, fully in, let it go, push it out, fully in, let it go, push it out. Keep it up, guys, 30 seconds left. Fully in, let it go, push it out. Last few. Last one. Let it go. Push it out. Now, put it together again. That means just forget the mechanics. You should be open. You should feel the air move easy. Then on the next minute, we're going to push ourselves a little bit. So just getting the airflow moving now, allowing it to feel good, getting used to mouth breathing for this tiny, tiny portion of the day. "30 seconds left. Guys, you're halfway done already. I know you can do it. Just like we exercise at the gym, we do a little exercise for our breathing process. Deeply in, letting go without pushing air out, just letting go. We want to use one process, the inspiratory muscles, when we do these breath works. All right, now it's time to get a dose of adrenaline. We have a full minute, so what I would do is start slow and start to pick it up. Adrenaline can come from intention. So you start slow, you start to make each breath a little more intense. And your intention adds to that dose. 30 seconds left as you climb the hill of intensity. "10 seconds left of maybe the fastest you've gone so far. And if you fall off track, no problem. That's what happens when we start to shift our consciousness. Last few quick ones. Perfect job, guys. Now we're gonna make a little assessment. We're gonna switch back to a 2-stage breath. Just 70 in and the last 30. So 70 in, then the last 30 and let go. You're just making a little assessment of how you feel. Keep it up, guys. We only have 2 minutes left of fast breathing. I know you can do it. You just need a little push sometimes to keep you on track. Now, we're getting to the part where we're going to do 3 15-second sprints. So that's all the way in, all the way out, essentially as fast as you can go with a little pause in between each. What I encourage you to do is start slow, and then we start picking it up. You can follow me if you want. Here we go. Three, two, one. Pause and swallow. On to the next one. Here we go. Start slow. Three, two, one. Pause and swallow. Last one, guys. Here we go. Start slow. Three, two, one. Pause and swallow. Awesome work, guys. Last minute of full breaths. Here we go. Full breath in, letting go, making a little assessment. Fully in, letting go, winding down, but nice full breaths. Find that rhythm, find that pace. We're not getting our heart rate down yet. We're just winding down. Deeply in, letting go, relaxing your body. Now, it's time to start getting our heart rate down. Quick, short breath in, long breath out. You can slowly put your legs down now if you haven't already. Quick, short in, long breath out. Relax your legs. Quick in, long out. Relax your hips. Quick in, long out. Relax your arms. You can put them to your side, on your chest, on your belly, whatever feels best. Quick in, long out. Relax your shoulders. Sink into the ground. Feel grounded. Quick in, long out. Relax your face. Relax your eyebrows. Loosen up. Sync up with me in 2 easy breaths. Here we go. 2, 1. Last, big deep breath all the way in. Let it go nice and slow until you get to neutral in this case or slightly above. Lock it in and hold your breath. You've put in all the work to get here. Now you just move the least amount possible, use the least amount of energy, and sit in this amazing space of consciousness. You can even connect deeper to your consciousness by just taking note of what you see in your mind's eye. You see the light, you see the dark, you see the shapes. You see this connection to new frequency. You're over a minute now, guys. Just keep holding and relax. Whenever it feels good, you can start your count. Try to prolong the urge to breathe. Giving your monkey mind something to do with the light little count. But just know, guys, happiness, euphoria, it exists inside. We use these steps to get there. Take the keyboard back from this supercomputer. Just keep holding and relaxing. Finish off with a finale breath of a nice full breath in. You're at about 1:45 now. So you're over 2 minutes. You can let go if you haven't already. Lock in a full breath for just a moment, and then we're going to do an optional 6 big breaths together and a light meditation at the end. So here we go, guys. 6 big breaths together. Big breath in all the way in, and let go. 4, let go. 3, let go. 2, let go. 1, let go. Empty completely. All the way back into the top. A few extra sips. Lock it in. Hold on to that pressure. Add a little tiny extra squeeze if you want. You can hold on to this for as long as it feels good. As soon as you feel sensations rise up, if you actually let go of the pressure, you can feel the sensations wash over. So after about 25 seconds or so, if you missed the feeling, then you can just let go. And then let's just sit in silence for a good minute, 90 seconds.